Gentlemen, we are back. It is the D League year 2025. We are entering our, I believe, 14th year of the D League. We're bigger and better than ever. Welcome back, everyone. We are now post draft. We all went back to Ames last weekend, and we're all back home to our wives, our family, our loved ones. Hopefully, everyone made it back home safe, although it was very tough. My name is Austin Bamrick. I'm your host. Jameson has been AWOL since last year and will continue to be so because he is a three-time sex haver. He also works at Goldman Sachs and is getting his master's degree. And as of today, apparently that entails about 8 hours of extra work on top of his classwork. So he's essentially a full-time student in addition to being a full-time dad, in addition to being a full-time employee at Goldman's. So we might not see a lot of Jameson this year. I feel terrible for him. It's a good year that he got his championship last year because I would imagine he's not going to have a lot of time this year. Feel bad. Anyway, the draft. The draft was great. It was good. It was fine. It was a bit strange being back at the new house. I think a lot of us, at least what I gathered over my overhearings slash conversations with some of the guys my age and older, it was a bit strange to be back in Ames and this old. This really felt like one of the first times where I was like, oh, we look as old as we are, or we are as old as we look. We're as old as we feel. I don't know. It was bad because there was formal recruitment going on for the ladies, and there's formal recruitment going on for the boys. So yeah, it was a bit strange. A lot of Ames has been demoed. There's like 6 bars left on Welch, 2 of which we know, Sips and Size Roost. Oh, and Welch Ave, thank God. But Estas is closed. Capone's is closed. Headliners is closed. Most of them are just like go buy your T-shirt stores, which is fucked up. You would think that a place that is increasing in enrollment every year, it's up to like 40,000, would need more and more bars, but instead they just keep expanding places to buy T-shirts, which is super fucked up. Myself had a good time, but I did manage to leave my card on Friday at Size, which looked quite a bit different than I remember it. There's a lot of tables in like a weird circular sitting area. When I remembered walking to Size, it was like completely open. Size Roost was closed, unfortunately, and then there was an outer area which I had literally never been to in my life. That was like a full. There's like TVs and a bar out there, which is strange. But I left my tab there, and I think I had spent about $4. Left a $3 tip because I had to go get my card the next day, and then the next day while we were out, I managed to leave my card again. So my card is still in Ames. I think it has a tab of maybe a total of $14, but I will be canceling that and getting a new card shortly. The house itself was all right. By all right, I mean it was terrible. It smelled like shit everywhere you went. It smelled awful. For some reason, all the trim had been ripped off of it. So if you went to any door, you went to any window, I'm not sure what's going on, but people just were like gripping it and ripping it off of the walls. There were holes everywhere. There was strange yellow stains, not only in the kitchen, but in the conference room that I drafted in. There was just like weird, like it looked like like my kid's diarrhea had just blown across the wall. Um, so yeah, wouldn't recommend going back there again. That was pretty shitty. But it was kind of nice to just have everyone central, especially I think we had like our second most people show up since I mean it probably riles rivals Minnesota, I believe. So that was pretty cool. But a lot of people also just went home on Saturday after going to the draft. So who knows? I mean, Tim had mentioned like, oh, we could do this every couple of years, like go to Ames and donate to the house, and everybody gets here. I would recommend we never do this again. Uh, for one, we didn't talk to any of the guys younger than us or the PNMs, which is ideal. And also, I think that house is way worse than it was when we went there, and our house was 60 years old. These kids are uh, Gen Z, like fucking losers. So I don't want to go back there. Anyway, house is going downhill. It always is going downhill. It has been going downhill for 20 years, but that's just one man's opinion. I assume that it'll probably be fine. On to the actual draft itself. Guggenheim. Well, I unfortunately took too many rookies. I got a little caught up, went to the conference room in the Dowd house, and got a little distracted by Greek weeking a lot of beer cans and thinking that I was hot shit. So all my running backs are rookies. I have Amari Hampton, and I have RJ Harvey, and I have Ashton Genty, who, uh, according to Bradley, was injured essentially, I don't know, 2 minutes after I drafted him. Thankfully, went out and stiff armed somebody and took it to the house. So that was going to be really, really sad, but we avoided disaster. Um, I did manage to leave my card, like I said. I went to two different places in two different nights and left my card both times and had to go get it. This time, my U.S. bank card is just gone. I think it's at Patty's, and it will remain at Patty's. I'm just gonna cancel that and never go there again. Hopefully. Um, let's see. Guggenheim also Will's draft board is pretty great. He took 6 wide receivers in a row. His first running back was Tyrone Tracy at 7-12. So he went Neighbors at 112, Brian Thomas 2-1, Garrett Wilson 3-12, Devontae Adams 4-1, Rashee Rice 5-12, George Pickens 6-1, and then running back 1, Tyrone Tracy, running back 2, Travis Etienne. So obviously hilarious, but there is a very strange chance that Postler's strategy is not only great but genius. Rice is probably going to get suspended later in the year. Devontae Adams could be an absolute steal, an absolute wide receiver one, assuming that Stafford plays the whole year. Pickens might be, I guess, fine, but Tracy and ETN both could very well be the RB1s on their team for the entire year. And if so, getting 2 RB1s on their teams in the 7th and 8th rounds, pretty savvy mood for old Will. But if we're going by winners and losers, my guess is actually that Mr. Zachers. My guess is that I lose to Zacher in the final because number one, that's the only way I make it out of Guggenheim. Number two, check out Zacher's draft. Amon-Ra St. Brown 1-8 or 108. Josh Jacobs 205. Love that. Kittle 3-8. I was absolutely honed in on Kittle at 310, but Zacher, the savant he is, takes him at 3-8. Mike Evans 4-5. Love that shit. Tet McMillan 5-8. Probably the number one rookie wide receiver. I mean, I guess yes, he was the most highly picked, but he also is in a situation where he can just gobble up everything. Pacheco, 6'5". I really don't think there's any competition in Kansas City for Pacheco. He's probably the number one running back on the best offense in the NFL. And then it starts to fall apart a little bit. Brian Robinson might be traded. So allegedly Brian Robinson is like bad at football, but I don't really get that. He's always been big hat. He's always been pretty solid. But I guess Washington doesn't like him. Very strange. And then Purdy, QB1. Why the fuck not? Well, he only has two healthy receivers on his team, and Christian McCaffrey is 450 years old. A little risky, but there's plenty of QBs out there. I have no doubt in my mind Zachary can easily replace Purdy if things go wrong. But everything after round 8 is it's pretty shit. Jordan Mason's a backup. Darnell Mooney has a shoulder injury. Tucker Kraft is a guy that plays football, I guess. Ray Davis is a fifth stringer. Keenan Allen is 700 years old. He took the Vikings defense in the 14th, Chris Boswell in the 15th, and then Wan'Dale Robinson in the 16th. So he essentially has, after Brock, rounds 9 through 16 are a complete waste. All of these guys are zero upside, but except for Mason. All these guys are zero upside bad football players. But his top 8 are so goddamn good. I have no choice but to back my boy Zachary. On the other hand, my loser, Andrew Murray. Andrew Murray had 101. He had the first pick in our draft. He had Jamar Chase. He then took Breece Hall at 212. Love Breece Hall, but he's also going for McMurray about 6 spots earlier than normal. Then Josh Allen, Chuba Hubbard, Laporta, Mixon. So 6 rounds in, he has 1 wide receiver. And reminder, everybody, we start 3. He has Breece Hall, who is an RB2, Chuba Hubbard, RB2, Joe Mixon, who will not play in the NFL this year. Then his wide receiver 2 and 3 are Jerry Jeudy, who sucks ass, Stephon Diggs, who is 35, and Jaden Reed, who is in a boot, I believe. Yeah, isn't practicing at all. He then has Dalton Kincaid to back up his 1 tight end. So at this point, McMurray is starting 1, 2, 3, 4. He's starting 5 people, and we are into round 16. Yeah, he doesn't have enough people to start in an entire lineup because Jeudy, Diggs, and Reed and Mims do not create a starting lineup. So McMurray's going to lose. Sorry, man. That is a bummer. Let's go to Old Hall. All right. The first thing that comes out to me is Mark Sullivan, as it always does. Mark Sullivan and I have a very similar draft strategy. I unfortunately didn't have 106, so I wasn't able to back up all this shit. But he and I both have Amari Hampton in the 3rd, Jalen Hurts in the 4th, and Jamison Williams in the 5th. Then Tyler Warren in the 9th. So that's 4 for 4 that Sully and I are the same. Now you might think, Austin, why didn't you just predict yourself to win Guggenheim? Well, that would mean I was about to jinx myself. And the second thing is that Andy Holloway from the Fantasy Footballers picked Tyler Warren, Amari Hampton, and Jamison Williams. I found that out after I had done my draft, but unfortunately, he did pick all 3, and we all know that the Fantasy Footballers are some of the worst to ever do it. If you have anybody on there, my guys, they will absolutely tank your whole fucking team. So sorry, Sully. Hopefully, you and I just our energy like displaces the fantasy footballers, um, but don't count on it. Also, in Old Hall is one T Shan, who is my loser. He has 0 running backs. I mean, I know you only have to select 2, but DeAndre Swift is one of the worst running backs in the league. He cannot hit an open hole to save his fucking life. And then Tyrone Tracy is Cam Scadabo's backup. J.K. Dobbins has been healthy for 2 games his entire year or career. Najee Harris only has 1 eyeball. Rishi Rice was quickly replaced by Bucky Irving, who Nigro was asked, "Who the fuck is Bucky Irving? Is that a mascot?" That's how fucking bad Rishi Rice is, or Roddy. Jesus Christ, Rashad White is. And then Ray Davis, I don't know who that is. Dak Prescott, don't know who that is. Romeo Dubs, don't know who that is. And then defense and kicker. Yeah, it's gonna be pretty bad for you, man. You nailed the first 2, Jefferson and Bowers. The rest is all bad. This is all gonna be bad, Tyler. I'm sorry to say. All right, on New Hall. We got the winner, of course. It's going to be Tom McHale, beautiful and powerful. Tom McHale has, I think, 4 Iowa State players on his team. Where do we got? Salami Tommy, yeah. Brees Hall, Iowa State. Montgomery, Iowa State. Jaden Higgins, motherfucker State. That is 3. That is a RB1, an RB1, and a wide receiver 1, all from Iowa State. I don't think I can consciously pick against Salami Tommy, so I won't. The loser is going to be easily Telecom. He has McCaffrey, who should have retired last year. He has Devontae Adams, who should have retired last year. Xavier Worthy, who is Rashee Rice's backup. Aaron Jones, who should have retired last year. Jordan Addison, who is Jefferson's backup. Brandon Ayuk, who got a fat contract and doesn't play football this year. So he currently has, let's see. He has essentially an old folks home going on here. It's just a whole bunch of people who are injured, will be injured, or are suspended right now, and none of them are going to play football most of the year. I'm sorry to say, Tyler. On to Peters Cuervo. Wait, what the heck? Where'd it go? We'll come back to Peters Cuervo. Blipto. Probably the funniest thing for Blipto was Shugart attempting to hoard the what? Shugart started to hoard some position and then trade essentially like minutes after the draft had finished, but now I can't see that. Kittle went after Laporta, which is a little bizarre. Kittle went mid 4th instead of early 3rd. Omar and Hampton also went in the 4th for Blipto. So these guys must know something that I don't. I'm going to go my winner here. I'm thinking the championship of Blipto is probably going to be Foster. Check this shit out. He's got Gibbs, absolute baller. AJ Brown, absolute baller. T. Higgins, Mike Evans, studs. Joe Burrow, stud. Hawkinson, stud. And then this is where it gets really interesting. I think if Quinshon Judkins, this is bizarre. So he doesn't have any, I guess, stuff against him right now, but he still hasn't signed his contract. And then ETN, maybe he gets traded. Maybe he just takes over the first job over Bigsby. Foster could have just like an absolute nasty team. Like Jaden Reed, again, Maybe he gets healthy. He's solid. I mean, that's really all I need the first like 6 or so picks to work out. So I think he has super high upside. Let's go. Let's go Foster. Loser is going to be Voss. Let me look at the Vossinator. He's got Amon-Ra St. Brown, excellent. Josh Jacob, excellent. Garrett Wilson, terrible. Jalen Hurts, excellent. Joe Mixon isn't going to play football this year. George Pickens, terrible. Brian Robinson, gonna get traded. Khalil Shakir allegedly plays in the NFL, but I don't think anybody knows that. Juwan Jennings, Ricky Pearsall's backup. Dalton Kincaid. Okay, now you are doubling up on receivers in Buffalo. JJ McCarthy, you are backing up Jalen Hurts for no reason. Trey Harris, that is a rookie 12th rounder wide receiver. Not going to happen. Yeah, I mean, outside of the first, actually, 3 out of your 4 first picks are good, but Garrett Wilson is going to be a massive bust. Like, that's everybody who has Garrett Wilson is going to really, really regret that shit. I'm really sorry. And then, yeah, Joe Mixon's not going to play football this year. Let's get on to Herman German. We got the winner. That's going to be Mitch. Mitch is going to go first to last. He's got Neighbors. He's got Collins, Kittle, Jaden Daniels, Jameson Williams, and then DeAndre Swift and Kerryon Johnson. Now, neither of those players are going to be good at football at all, but they will get enough touches that Mitch's wide receiver is going to carry the fuck out of him. I mean, Neighbors, Collins, Williams, that's a 1 through 3 that you want. Jaden Daniels is a fucking stud, and Kittle is going to be the number 1 tight end in all of football. That's all you need, dude. The rest just fill in with trash. Maybe Luther Burden works out. Maybe DeAndre Swift gets, 4 points a game because the Bears are fucking garbage and DeAndre Swift is one of the worst running backs of all time. The dude is like Trent Richardson level bad in vision. But maybe Kerryon Johnson can get, 2 yards a game, a play. That'd be pretty solid. You also have Jerome Ford and Cedric Tillman. Ford might be the RB1. I mean, if Quinshawn Judkins, which is somehow a real name, doesn't start, then you probably got the starter. So I think I'm thinking Mitch. Really thinking Mitch, and then the loser I'm thinking is going to be Zach Elliott, and that's only because he has 3 Vikings. And if you got 3 Vikings, you don't have one. Like, pick a lane. Is it going to be Aaron Jones? Are we going to be heavy run? Is it going to be Hawkinson? Is JJ McCarthy going to be like the truth? And we're going to throw it a bunch? Because if so, then you want Hawkinson and Addison. But Addison is also suspended for 3 games. And Elliott has Aaron Jones in the 5th, which is early. Hawkinson in the 6th, which is early. And Addison in the 8th, which is probably on time, but it's very strange for somebody who I thought was like a Green Bay fan or a Bears fan. But I guess he's just really obsessed with the purple and gold. I mean, you can't get enough of them. Look at this. All these guys are probably going to underperform their ADP, and Zach Elliott's just fucking obsessed. It's pathetic, really. I mean, I live here, and I'm not even obsessed with those guys. And we're on to the last. Motherfucking presidents. The winner. My pick for winner. You know him. You love him. Jameson Bamrick. Look at this shit. Well, you can't look, actually. I tried to figure out how to share my screen earlier, and apparently our streaming service has limited it to only being able to screen your screen now. You can't branch off into other tabs and shit. So you'll just have to trust me. So Jameson has Neighbors in the 1st. Fine. I would have taken Nico, but Neighbors might be okay. He got Genty at 202, which is a good 4 spots later than I got him. Actually, 5 spots later than I got him, and 5 spots later than he should be going. Got Kittle at 3-1. That was my target at 3-1. Then he got Ken Walker at 4-2. Ken Walker, when starting, is always a top 12 running back. We just got to hope he's healthy. Calvin Ridley, easily the number one wide receiver for Cam Ward. DeAndre Swift sucks ass, so that's kind of a wash. But Demo could have a little bit of a resurgence, and then Matthew Golden. There is absolutely nobody that Green Bay has that can overtake Matthew Golden. They're all injured. They're all shit. They're all absolute trash. Matthew Golden's going to be the number one there. He did falter a bit here getting Justin Fields. Justin Fields is legitimately, it's like Anthony Richardson, then Justin Fields in the hierarchy of dog shit quarterbacks. So getting him in the 9th is, you could have got Justin Fields in the 400th. That was a massive reach. Go get Kyler Murray. Go get Herbert, Goff, literally anybody that is after Fields. Like that was terrible. But then you made up for it. Bigsby is going to be the RB1 in Jacksonville. This guy Blue, no idea who that person is. Spears is a human being, and then Tillman. Okay, after Golden, this draft is pretty bad until you get Jordan Love in 15-11. What is happening here? Why is Jordan Love nearly undrafted, whereas people are buying Justin Fields at 9-11? Never forget, by the way. What? You took Justin Fields 3 rounds ahead of Brock Purdy. What the fuck happened here? What is going on, presidents? I got to back up here. I really got to back up here. Let's go look at the draft results for a real league. Okay, yeah, here Brock Purdy at 8-5. Justin Fields 11-2. So the defending championship of the quote unquote best league in delts took Justin Fields at 9-10. Guggenheim said, nah, we don't need him until my fucking backup QB at 11-12. Who else? Let's see here. Let's just keep this good. Justin Fields at 12-4. Okay. That's Old Hall. Draft results here. Justin Fields 12-2. Okay. Peters Cuervo, this is the true test. Brock Purdy at 10-9. Justin Fields 12-8. So to be clear, everyone who's listening to this podcast, the quote unquote champion of all of our leagues took Justin fucking Fields at 9-11. 2.5 rounds earlier than everybody on the planet. His next QB was Jordan Love, a starting QB with a first round quarterback or first round wide receiver and 2 other guys that his coaches said, like, we don't need a first rounder. We got these guys. That is fucking insane. No other league took Justin Fields until the 12th round, and the President's League says, oh, 9-11, we need this guy. He went ahead of Jared Goff and Justin Herbert, McCarthy, Williams, Prescott, Purdy, May. Holy shit, dude. All of these, Lawrence, Stroud, all of the, every quarterback that went after Fields should have gone ahead of him. Sorry, I just went on a little tangent there. All right, anyway, so winner, JMO, but I actually don't think I saw the Fields thing until just now, so I might have to change that. And loser, it's Knust. It's Knust. That's an easy call. That's an absolute easy call. Look at here. So Knust, disgusting wide receiver core where we have to start 3 is Zay Flowers. That's a wide receiver 4. Devontae Smith, wide receiver 2, usually 3. Jalen Waddle, wide receiver 500. Jordan Addison, suspended for the first 3 games, wide receiver 16 million. Cooper Kupp is 700,000 years old. And then he just has a bunch of backups. So hopefully his Bijan, Brees, and Chris Brown carry him because nothing else is going to. But I actually might swap these. Jameson's QB choice is so incredibly bad that I might switch these. Anyway, what other fun things were from the draft? It was good to see everybody. It was an absolute blast. Tim Wood was like, "Oh, this is a great thing we could do like every other year." No, no, we're not going to go to Ames every other year. That's a fucking terrible idea. Most of us are feeling pretty old and kind of fat and a little sad when we walk around the Ames campus and there's all these uh, cool dudes walking around and young people, and it's really a testament to how much time has passed. So I'd rather not do that really ever again. Um, then Tom managed to eat, I believe, 4 rounds at Hoo Hot, which would be a personal best for me, and just an incredible feat of man versus food. And I guess bars wise, I did manage to leave my card on Friday. My tab was $3. I had to tip $3 to get my card back at size, and then I managed to leave my card again at Patty's, where my tab was $4 and my tip was $2. And then I left without getting my card because I was too embarrassed and I didn't want to wait around all day for the bar to open up. So I'm 0 for 2. And as an old person, I really don't ever get my card taken. I don't open a tab at a lot of places, so that was new for me. But I did really enjoy uh, Denton's story of like ordering 3 beers and then the guy being like, "Sorry, dude, the credit card minimum is 10." Somehow 3 beers didn't catch that. That was a little beautiful, I gotta say. All right. I feel like this episode is a little rambly because it was just me, but not next week, but 2 weeks from now, we're going to have actual football. Iowa State is going to play K State this weekend. Pat is here in Minneapolis these days, the one and only. So I'll be over at his place watching the game. Pretty sure I convinced him to buy a hot tub. It's going to be pretty kick ass and an outdoor bar. So if anybody is up in Minneapolis, hit me up. I'll hit Pat up. We'll go watch a game. We'll crush beers in his hot tub in the winter. And yeah, good to see everybody. Shout out Helt and Bogey for letting me ride in your Uber with you guys. That was clutch. Really sorry for Cafe B, where I was like, hey, let's go over there for some Long Islands. And it was like 3 of us. And then fucking 40 of us showed up basically after close. And she had to crush like fucking 60 um, Long Island's, kind of like U of M style, where maybe a reservation would have been ideal, but I guess not my problem. All right, everybody, write it down. If I said you're good, if I said you're bad, rub it in my face later. I love you all. Goodbye. See ya.